There's two things that we definitely want to cover in this video. The first one is the alleged reason why these friends might have took her life.
Who were these people to Shanquella?
They were all people that she went to college with, Winston-Salem. I didn't know none of those, none of them that was on the trip with her. Nothing but one fella. And that was supposed to be her closest friend.
And the second is who's the actual culprit that put the finishing touches that actually ended her life. And here's a gem for you, ladies and gentlemen. Daejhanae Jackson is not the one that allegedly killed Shanquella Robinson.
Yeah.
I heard the same thing you heard. There's a video out there.
Yeah.
That she picked her by the neck and slammed on the ground, and once they slammed her, she didn't get back up. Did not get back up.
So sit back, relax, because we pulled all the information from all sources and made it into one video that's digestible. And if this is your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, clicking that notification bell so you could be notified for more content like this. And don't forget to click that like button and share it amongst your friends. Let's talk about it.
It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, but I'm leaving no for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our part.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy Walls P.
I'm your girl Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Shanquella Robinson. Now, we did an initial video coverage on this woman who was unfortunately slaughtered by her friends as she went on a Cabo trip. Now, that's alleged, but we did a video covering this. If you want to see that video, click that card right here. Now, since we did that video, a lot of information has came to surface. And we're going to break that down for you. Miss Erica, aka Research Queen, is going to break all that down. But there's two things that we definitely want to cover in this video. The first one is the alleged reason why these friends might have took her life. And the second is who's the actual culprit that put the finishing touches that actually ended her life. So without further ado, Miss Erica, break down the information that has come to light for us.
So here are some of the updates about the Shanquella Robinson story. Shanquella Robinson was alive when the doctor from the local hospital arrived to the villa, which is a common practice in tourist areas. The doctor was initially called due to her drinking a lot of alcohol, so she came in with the premises of giving Shanquella an IV. The part that is mind boggling to me is that once the doctor gave her the IV, it was unsuccessful. So she told the friends that she wanted to transfer her to the hospital, which they insisted that she be treated right there in the villa. Not sure why the doctor didn't call 911 sooner. In my head, the doctor trumps her friends since she's medically trained.
Usually when paramedics or somebody show up and family members say, hey, this is the route that we want to go, usually the person, they take over and be like, no, this is the best course of action. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. Doctors usually go, look, this is what's the best interest for that patient. This is what needs to happen. So I feel like at one point or another, this doctor should have kicked in and stopped listening to the friends. Next thing in regards to just the events itself, it looks like the paramedics were eventually called. It looks like Winter Donovan was listed as the contact person on the report. Once the paramedics got there, they administered 14 rounds of CPR, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 discharges of an AED shock without success. So it looks like once they did all of that, the police were called to the scene, where if you look at the police report, it says that the cause of death is cardiopulmonary arrest, which was the result of them being called. So in layman's terms, it's a heart attack or heart failure itself. The police report does state that Robinson received medical attention for nearly 3 hours before having a seizure, losing her pulse, and eventually succumbing to her injuries. The police report itself does not mention any of the obvious signs that Robinson's family stated were there on her physical body before burial. The next update itself was in regards to the autopsy. It looks like based off of the autopsy that was performed by officials in Mexico, it lists that there were serious injuries to both her back and her neck, which was listed as the cause of death on their report. At this time, the FBI and the Mexican police authorities have both launched investigations into how Shanquella died, especially with the viral video that has been circulating and the public outcry with the hashtag Justice for Shanquella. The Mexican authorities are investigating Robinson's death as a possible femicide, which femicide is the intentional killing of a woman or girl because they are female. An arrest warrant has also been issued for one of the friends who is the direct aggressor. The extradition process is also underway for the suspect. Currently, the family is looking for justice.
Now, two things that I want to point out is that you see there's two conflicting reports because you have the medical report and you also have the police report. So those two things are not going to be the same because you had the one that reported that did life-saving measures, and then you have the other one that reported afterwards. Another thing I want to point out, when it comes to the extradition, the U.S. don't necessarily have to comply with that. Now, we know with the public outcry, they will, but they're not obligated to. The last video we did, there was a lot of back and forth about wondering, did Shanquella have liquor in her system or not? Because the report said liquor had nothing to do with her death, but nothing is more concrete than actual visual evidence. We have video that surfaced while they were in Cabo that night of October 28th, where they were out celebrating and actually having drinks. Check it out.
Those who don't do it how we do it because we used to it. Drink, mouth.
Drink! Winter, come on now.
You be working.
Deja, we know you weren't working on upper body when you was working out. Come on, let me see what you got, Winter. Winter, what is that? What a card, man. These people here.
Come on, Lise, grab a card.
So clearly you could see in that video, they was having a good time, they was enjoying themselves, and they were definitely tipsy to an extent. Now, more information that surfaced since the last video was people online were posting these individuals' phone numbers, their address, and the whole nine. Because, again, everybody wanted answers. So there was an individual that actually went through these list of numbers, tried to contact these people, went door to door to no avail. Check it out.
Difficult to obtain, so I called phone numbers associated with all of her friends who went on the trip.
The subscriber you have dialed is not in service.
Most of the numbers are now disconnected, but two of them went straight to voicemail.
Sorry, mailbox is full.
I texted both of them and also paid them a visit since they have Charlotte addresses. No one answered at the first store, and the same with the second. And while no one was home when I rang the doorbell this afternoon, a neighbor did tell me this morning they spotted CMPD outside this person's home.
Here's a question for you. Do you think it was right that their information were posted online and people are actually calling them and trying to get in contact with them?
I do not think that it's right, but if there are people that are trying to investigate, then yes, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go check their last known addresses. They are going to call the telephone numbers that are associated with them. Think about it. At times, people reach out to their family members in the middle of a news report trying to get as much information as possible.
If these people are as innocent as they claim, there would be no reason why you would go into hiding. You would come forward and actually state the events that happened. You would have nothing to hide. Now, we all remember the viral video of Shanquella Robinson fighting a woman who is believed to be Daejhanae Jackson. Well, a gentleman by the name of Gerald Dwayne Jackson Jr., he dropped a video stating that Daejhanae Jackson was not the person responsible for her death. And he also interviewed Shanquella Robinson's dad, who also had the same information that it wasn't Daejhanae that actually took his daughter's life. Here's that video.
Donovan allegedly grabbed Shanquella around the neck and body slammed her, and she never got up.
With what this man said, do you believe that that was actually what took her life? Or do you think it was the altercation that she got into with Daejhanae that took her life?
No, I think based off of the information from the autopsy, if you're telling me neck and spinal injury, I'm assuming if she was picked up and slammed on her head or by her neck, those would most likely be what has caused those serious injuries. Just fighting someone, hitting them arms, legs, face is not going to give you, life threatening blows unless this person is, has lethal hands. Somebody who is a professional boxer.
Even if they have lethal hands, though, it's not gonna, you know, break their spine or something like that. You would have to do some kind of earth-shattering slam to do it. So, I agree with you on that.
I know there's more footage. The source who's close to some of these people who was in the room, there is another video. I don't know if Daejhanae has that video, but I can guarantee you that Daejhanae is not going to sit idle and not going to let the internet destroy her like this. I feel like that somebody is about to turn on somebody and somebody about to release that second part of that video.
Now, here's what I got to say about that. If Daejhanae does have that video, she would be smart to hold on to it. Because once the Roos come home to cook, I think that's the proper term. Once the Roos come home to cook, she's going to want that to try and make a plea deal or lessen her sentence, whatever the case may be. So if she's smart, she would hold on to that piece of evidence if she does have that video.
I was going to say the same thing. I would hold on to that evidence. I would give it to the appropriate channel. So once you start investigating me, I'd be like, here's what I got for you. Serve it up to you right on a silver platter. This is the video. This is what she did after me and her got into the altercation. And this is the person that became the aggressor after I did. Because obviously, from the clip initially, she was still alive.
I don't know who's going to release it. I don't know where it's going to come from. But from a person in the room told someone, and this person that contacted us today, I vetted them. They are legit. Their story is true. They proved to me that they was connected to these people. That Winter Donovan, the one that is recording, in the video I just showed you all, to the right, is said to have put her arms around Shanquella's neck and body slammed her, and Shanquella never got back up.
And for those who are wondering what video this gentleman is talking about, that's the video of Shanquella Robinson and Daejhanae Jackson fighting. Just so you don't be lost in what video he's talking about, it's not the video of Winter Donovan. It's the video of Shanquella and Daejhanae actually fighting.
These facts will come out once there are charges. I don't know if I think I mentioned it in the story. Khalil, Shanquella's best friend, had brought Daejhanae and Winter to Shanquella's mom's house. And they had told the mom, it was alcohol poisoning.
For this guy to be her best friend and actually let your best friend go through something like this, what does that say about this individual's character?
To me, it means you ain't really my friend. Because if you were really my friend, you would have stopped most of this from happening. If you were really my friend, you would have made sure, as my friend, nothing would have happened. I don't care if we were drunk or not. You would have stepped up and you would have said something. Even if it was, talk to her later. Let her sleep it off until y'all get clearer heads. Something. You keep them separate. You sit there guarding the door and make sure that nobody gets in the room. That's what you do as a best friend. You protect your friend. And I don't care how wrong whatever the circumstance was that led to this fight, you shouldn't have let it happen. Y'all grown.
You don't just sit there as a best friend and say, hey, you ain't going to defend yourself? You ain't going to fight back? The way it comes off is, as her quote-unquote best friend, you've been hating on her for the longest. She got her own business, this, that, and the third, making a good living, all of this stuff. And it seems like the whole time you was hating on this woman. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's what it comes off as when you see your best friend is, being taken advantage of and actually beat up by, other people. You don't step in. That says a lot about this individual's character.
Shanquella's sister Quilla had already heard from word on the curb that they had jumped her sister. So when they came over to the house, Quilla asked them, did y'all jump on my sister? They was like, no, it wasn't no fight going on. We knew that was a lie when we saw the video. They say, no, It wasn't no fight going on.
The minute that they asked him, "Did y'all jump my sister?" they should have known. They saw the video or something, because nobody, like, if they wasn't at the vacation in Cabo, why would you jump to the conclusion of saying, "Did y'all jump my sister?" You don't just come to that conclusion. You had to see something or hear something that been like, "Yo, they jumped such and such." If something happens to a family member and it's like they got a heart attack or, whatever the case may be, my immediate question is not going to be, did somebody attack her? It's going to be, yo, what happened? Like, did y'all, perform life-saving measures? Somebody attacking my family member is not the question that is going to be asked if they died of, let's just say, a heart attack or quote-unquote alcohol poisoning.
We just kind of held the phone. He said that they got all of them standing outside the house, so he really couldn't tell us what was going on. It went from that till she had passed.
And so when you get the news that she had passed, who did that news come from? The person that was calling you?
The person that was calling us, yes.
At that moment, I can't even begin to imagine what is going through your head to find out that your loved one has passed away and they're in Mexico. A lot of people are talking about friends. Who were these people to Shanquella?
They were all people that she went to college with, Winston-Salem.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know none of them that was on the trip with her. Nothing but one fella, and that was supposed to be her closest friend. He's close with the family. He's been on family trips. He's always around. He's always with her. That's the one that we got the phone call from, telling us about what transpired. The other people we didn't know. We just know she attended school with them.
So you get the phone call that she had passed away. When does it turn to, hold on, something is not right?
I think maybe that next day, I guess because it really kind of settled in then.
Mm-hmm.
At first, we were kind of at ease because he was someone that we trusted. We wouldn't take him to be as dirty as he is. That makes sense to you. So I would say probably the next day we started feeling different about what he was telling us. Because by then we started getting phone calls from people here saying that they was over there fighting her. The girls was jumping on her. After getting that information, we questioned him, and he stuck to alcohol. He said that's what the medics told him. So eventually it went from alcohol till they was fighting her when we asked him about the fighting, it went from alcohol to they wasn't fighting her. Nobody was fighting her. To they did fight her, but then he wasn't there. He wasn't in the room. He don't know nothing about the fight. When he got back, the fight was over with. But now we got a video that surfaced showing that they was fighting and showing that he's in the room, letting them, attack her.
So let's talk about this video. Do you know who released this video to the public?
I don't know who released the video. No.
You received phone calls from other people saying that the girls that were on this trip were fighting Shanquella. So that leads me to believe that this video was sent out showing people in this fight.
Way before we seen it. It's been out for days now. I mean, weeks. Well, weeks, yeah. We just now seeing it. So it's been out for a while, because I even had somebody inbox me telling me that video been out for a while. And it's got to be another part to the video that haven't surfaced yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
So you see this video, and you now see that the young man that has been calling you, telling you what's going on, that he has been lying, that he was actually in the room, he did witness the fight. Do you then reach back out to him?
I tried calling him because I was livid.
Mm-hmm.
That video did something to me, because all of them, they standing there, and then my sister sleeps naked. So they had to wake her up out of sleep. As you can see, the girl that was attacking her had her pajamas on. So, and to see him in there and to know that, I immediately called him. But of course, he's not answering his phone. He's in the hiding now.
So the last time that you talked to him was the next day after he told you that she had passed away?
We talked to him for a couple of days, because he came over here to the house.
Oh, wow.
Every day. Yeah, he came here. And the girls came to the house, too. Two of the girls came to the house. And we asked them the same questions about the fighting part. All of them denied. It was no fight. Nobody was fighting. I think they came home on a Monday or a Sunday or Monday, but the girls came, they all came maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday over here to the house. And I think later on that week is when we actually got the information from the coroners that her death had nothing to do with alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, I heard the same thing you heard. There's a video out there
Yeah.
that she picked up by the neck and slammed on the ground, and once they slammed it, she didn't get back up. Did not get back up. So I guess that slam right there must have broke her neck and her spinal cord.
Do you need a second, Mr. Bernard? I can turn this off for a minute.
Nah, man, go ahead. We can go through this. We can go through this.
The thing that makes me feel so sad for this gentleman is that was his only daughter. And he dropped a video where he was saying, I could never walk my daughter down the aisle. I could never have grandkids, all of this stuff. For a man, don't get me wrong, men, we love our sons, but when it comes to our daughters, that's like your precious gem, so to speak. So for you to lose your only daughter, and every dad has the aspirations of walking his daughter down that aisle, having grandkids, all of this stuff, it's gone. So I feel this man's pain 100%. And like I said, I don't wish no parent having their child go before them. And let me just clear this up for everybody. That's her sister on the mother's side. This gentleman right here, that's his only child. So I want everybody to understand that. Now, that second video that the man was talking about, we scoured the internet to see if we could find that video, and it was to no avail. Now, when you took to the web and was scouring to find this video, did you find anything that showed Winter Donovan was the one that slammed Shanquella Robinson?
No, I didn't find a single video with her fighting with Winter Donovan at all. I did find a video with Winter Donovan talking allegedly, but nothing with her fighting itself.
And speaking of that video, let's pull it up for you guys.
Yes. All right. So, yes, she did have a fight that y'all will see, and that's going viral. They were fighting because Quilla did some crazy while she was drunk. So she basically told her to, let's fight. I don't want to drag you out of the bed. Quilla didn't want to, and that's how that happened. Unfortunately, she did die because of the video. Don't mean that happened. They're just trying to cover it up with a broken spine and whatever else they're saying. You all like y'all. I was not fighting in the video. So the person that was fighting in the video is not up here, and she can only speak for herself. So until she gets up here, she can speak on her behalf.
With her explanation, if you're not a guilty party, why would you not break down all the details of what happened? I understand she's saying, hey, Daejhanae was the one that was fighting in the video, but she got to represent herself. But if you have nothing to do with it, why would you not be able to break down the details of what happened that evening? Last thing that I want to report is they're reporting the reason why this woman lost her life is because she was robbed of $10K. It's reported that one of the friends that did not join the Cabo trip took to Facebook with even more information. According to this young woman, Robinson was also robbed of $10,000 by the people she trusts. In addition, this young lady says that Robinson is the one who paid for her Airbnb where they were residing. Can money make people do the darndest things? I believe so.
It definitely can.
What is your take as of everything on a whole, as far as what the interview with Shanquella Robinson's dad, what Gerald reported, like everything in a whole?
Everything in a whole, I feel like there's still some pieces that are probably missing. Do I feel like the friends are going to come out and speak? Probably not at this time. They're probably lawyered up at this point in time, which in their lawyer's probably going to tell them, don't say anything that can be incriminating. Don't have any other information circulating until it's gone through, the legal process. It's gone through the investigations with the FBI and also with the Mexican authorities. The reason is anything that surfaces that comes out of their mouths can be held against them in a court of law. The next thing is, in general, yes, we are all trying to piece these pieces together. The interviews that the parents are doing gives us more insight into what's happening. It's giving us the information as they're getting it. So it may come out a little bit faster than a news report or any legal counsel putting it out, because they're trying to get as much information out there as possible so that they can help aid with the investigation. The interviews that people are doing in general are going to help get as much coverage as possible. The more people investigating, the more people trying to find out what's going on with the story, the more national the coverage gets.
Here's my take on the matter. Whenever it comes to a lot of crimes that are done, most of it is solved by the surrounding parties, meaning the people who are auxiliary pieces to said crime. And once the police do their investigation and take pieces from here, pieces from here, pieces from there, that's when they come to their conclusion. When it comes to these investigations, most likely it's the people that help solve the crime. And we all know the streets don't talk to the cops. The streets talks among themselves. The streets will actually break a story down, get all the information, and the code is cracked right there on the street. At that point, it's the job of the police to piece everything together and get all these sources. So when this individual saying that he got his sources for somebody of what happened, and clearly the attack that Daejhanae did on Shanquella Robinson was not enough to take her life. For you to actually sever somebody's spine, you had to have did something like earth-shattering to actually, break their spine or whatever. When she had the opportunity to speak, to defend herself, she didn't. And I'm talking about Winter Donovan. All she said was, hey, Daejhanae was fighting in the video. If that was me, I would be vehemently fighting like, hey, I'm not the one who did this, whatever. Here's what happened. Here's this, here's that, blah, blah, blah. She didn't do none of that to actually defend herself on said topic. So that gives me reason to believe what the dad heard and what Mr. Gerald heard gotta have some type of credence in it. And the 10K, that gotta give some credence too, because that's probably what sparked them attacking her. Jealousy, so to speak. And we saw that one clip where Shanquella Robinson was walking through the house looking for them, and she couldn't find them. And when she walks in the room, it looked like they're in there conspiring. So this is all alleged, but what I'm saying is when you piece everything together, it makes sense in my mind on why this happened to this girl. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the update that we have on everything. Here's the question I gotta ask you, Erica P. If these things wind up being true and not alleged, what kind of penalty are you looking for the 6 friends that were there? Are you looking to penalize all of them? Like, what is your take on that matter?
Okay, so me personally, I do feel like each one of the 6 should have some kind of jail time at this point. One, it's been almost a full month that the investigation has been going on. 2, I feel like if they were forthcoming with the information off the bat, she may not have lost her life. Because think about it, if she was treated at the hospital beforehand, these are all things that may or may not have been assessed when the doctors started taking x-rays and CAT scans and all of the other diagnostic things that they do. They may have been able to do life-saving measures to prevent all of this to begin with. Next thing is you all left and went back home. You tried to go back to your normal life. I feel like you have to be some kind of sick person to think you're going to get away with taking someone's life. I feel like whoever's the direct aggressor should have the harshest penalties, but I do feel like all of the other surrounding pieces or surrounding people should be held accountable as well. So if you're telling me the person who did the direct attack, 25 to life. The surrounding parties, depending on how trivial or how great their information could have been, if it was set on time, you're talking for me anywhere from 5 to 20 years, because I do want people to be held accountable for their actions.
Me personally, if everything that is being stated is true, even though the ones who didn't put their hands on her and didn't take her life, they all should suffer life sentences. because you lied about it, basically were accomplice to it, like you said, just left the country like everything was all good. When you had opportunities to speak and say your piece on the matter, you chose not to. So in my mind, y'all all in cahoots together. So if y'all all gonna be in cahoots together, then y'all all need to suffer the same life sentences together. So that's my opinion on the matter. With that being said, let us know what you think in the comment section. We would love to hear your take on the matter. Do you think that the alleged reasons are actually true? Or do you think there got to be more pieces to the puzzle? We would love to hear your take on the matter. If this is your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. And those who are subscribed, we appreciate your support. If you want to follow us on our other social media platforms, the links are in the description. And don't forget to like and share the video. And with that being said, I'm your boy Walls P.
I'm your girl Erica.
And we will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.